Hi, good evening. I'd like to welcome you to Poem Praise 2, and peace and blessings be upon you and your family this evening. Now we are going to go ahead and get right into life without limits. Right now we're currently on chapter number 2 here on Poem Praise 2. This is going to be the first take of this chapter. Do you have 10 minutes? Okay. Let's go ahead and get into 10 minutes of chapter 2. Okay? And the title of this chapter is entitled Identifying Your Limitations. And it reads as such. As you move forward in living a life without limits, you may be faced with many limitations and restrictions from society. There may be environmental restraints, barriers, roadblocks, dependencies, hurdles, boundaries, debt, controls, and negative mindsets. You might find biases based on age, color, religion, and our gender. Limitations are the things that hold us back from fulfilling our dreams in life. What about the limitations we put on ourselves? Have you made poor choices? Do you have bad habits or addictions, past failures, unhealthy emotions, or a lack of education and vision? Even our poor choices of friends, the condition of our finances, our health, and the status of our relationships can be hindrances that can stop any one of us from living a life without limits. We were all born with limitations that we are forever trying to overcome, despite how intelligent or gifted and talented we are. From the highest level of our strengths, gifts, and talents, to the deepest level of our imperfections, flaws, and weaknesses, every person alive is dealing with some limitation in their lives. If you interact with someone long enough, you will begin to see those areas in their life that are a constant struggle for them. Many people of power and influence often surround themselves with people who can cover or compensate for their weaknesses. They search for people who can make up for what they do not know. A wise person once said, "If you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room." People who know their limitations are not afraid to reveal their weaknesses because they are more concerned with the outcome than what others think about them. Knowing your limitations can help you refrain from taking on more than you can handle. We may be in an era of multitasking, but most of us can only handle one thing at a time. Have you heard the phrase, "Jack of all trades, but master of none"? This is the result of people dabbling in a little of everything, doing none of them well. It will also help you to stay out of areas in which you have no expertise. A later chapter in this book deals with learning how to say no. It addresses to the idea that everyone should know their limitations without allowing their limitations to dominate their life. I have a personal story that I have shared many times with others who are struggling. My story speaks to the ones in life who have been labeled as less than. While growing up, I was labeled a functional illiterate because of my inability to read or write. I was placed in a special education class to receive remedial help to overcome this limitation. Many times I had to ask questions to get an understanding of the lesson. I had to stay after school to receive additional help from the teachers. I had to be a little more persistent than my classmates. When I failed a test, I would keep taking the test until I passed it. I never gave up. As you begin to live a life without limits, you will see that your persistence is more important than your resistance. Most important than your skill is your will. On this journey, you cannot allow your limitations to become a wall or a mountain throughout your life. As the lyrics to a song I wrote say, reach a little higher, dig a little deeper, go a little further, but don't stop. Don't stop. That is what I had to do. I will not allow my limitations of being unable to read stop me from reaching for my dreams. People with a positive attitude always look at their limitations as a speed bump and not a stumbling block. Mr. Stevie Wonder, one of my favorite musical artists, as you know, is blind. However, Stevie did not allow his lack of physical vision to stop him from becoming one of the greatest musicians in America. He is a musical genius. Ray Charles is another musical master who did not let his limitations keep him from his destiny. President Franklin D. Roosevelt did not allow being in a wheelchair stop him from becoming one of the greatest presidents of the United States. During the recent 2012 Summer Olympics in London, we witnessed its first double leg amputee, Oscar Pistorius. Excuse me, I don't know if I said his name correctly, but I'm going to spell his last name for y'all. It's spelled Pistorius. Participating as a runner. The list goes on and on of successful individuals who have had to overcome learning disorders, physical disabilities, mental abuse, and social limitations to reach their goals in life. Each of them did not allow their personal struggles to stop them from accomplishing their goals. Overcoming your limitations is more important than adjusting to your limitations. The greatest limitations that one can have are the excuses that they make. Excuses are a result of procrastination, and the lack of a plan. As the old adage says, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. In my book, ABCs of Success, I share that you must identify the real enemy that is keeping you from reaching your life's dream. Enemies such as self, fear, ignorance, insecurity, arrogance, procrastination, bitterness, disrespect, bad thinking, and your willingness to settle for the average will keep you in bondage. And that does complete take number 1 of chapter 2. So please stay tuned for take number 2 of Life Without Limits here on Poem Praise 2. So I want for you to be well, to take care, be blessed, and it be at thy will. I'll talk with you soon here on Poem Praise 2. So until next time, later y'all.